Today I'll be showing you how to do an oil change on a 2009 Toyota Avalon. This should work for the entire generation. This is the 3.5 liter V6, the 2GR FE engine. I'm gonna show you the exact tools and supplies you're gonna need, then I'll walk you through the procedure for getting it done. Obviously, you're gonna need some oil, 5W30. You're gonna need about 6.5 quarts of oil. So I got 2 of these 5-quart or 5-liter jugs. You're gonna need a new filter. If you can, go with the Toyota OEM ones. They're better than the alternatives, and they come with everything you need. They're gonna have all of the O-rings and gaskets and stuff you're gonna need. You will need a new oil drain plug gasket. This is an aftermarket one from Mahle, or you can get the Toyota ones. This is what I had at the parts store, but I'll put a link down below to the correct Toyota ones. Only special tool you're gonna need is a Toyota oil filter housing wrench. Again, I'll put a link down below to this exact one, but you're gonna need one of these. You're gonna need some ratchets, 3/8 and a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch is for this specific oil filter wrench. Then you're gonna need just a 14mm socket in order to open up the drain plug. Gloves are always a good idea in order to keep your hands nice and free of oil. Get the car off the ground onto 2 jack stands. Make sure it's safe to get under the car. We're gonna drain the oil, then we're gonna drop the car back on the ground and fill it back up. So let's get to it. For lifting the car, this is the front jack point. You'll see this little U-shaped piece of the plastic behind the front bumper. Here's the front bumper. And right here is where you're gonna wanna put your floor jack. You can jack up from there, and then you can go ahead and place your jack stands under the pinch welds. First thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and drain the old oil. So it's gonna be a 14mm. So get your ratchet on there and go ahead and loosen it off. Just like so. Then we can go ahead and remove the drain plug. It's a good idea to let the oil cool down a bit so it's not going to burn you. Make sure you have something to catch it, and then go ahead and drain it out. Now, while the oil is draining, we want to take our oil drain plug and install a new crush washer on top of it, like so. Make sure that the old one comes off. Mine is actually still stuck on the drain pan or the oil pan, but make sure you're not double stacking these. So if you don't have a filter, or a crush washer coming off, make sure that you ensure that there is not one stuck onto the oil pan before you install a new one, because you don't want to double up on these. So new crush washer, and then make sure that the old one is off. And then, now that the oil is kind of down to just a dribble, we can go ahead and reinstall our oil drain plug. Let's go ahead and spin that on just sort of finger tight. Make sure it's not cross-threading at all. And then grab a torque wrench, set to anywhere between 25 and 30 foot-pounds. And go ahead and snug that up. All right, drain plug is torqued on, new crush washer is installed. Now we can deal with the oil filter. Toyota has this kind of unique system where you can essentially drain the filter housing before removing the oil filter housing from the engine block. So what you do is you take just a 3/8 ratchet with an extension and you stick it up here, and then you just loosen this off. Oops. And then have your drain pan underneath. So get this loose. And then just the rest of the way down with your hands. Okay, now not a lot of oil is gonna come out at first, because you need to use this little funnel tube thing that comes with your new filter. Now, as soon as you attach this, it's gonna come spurting out. And sometimes this doesn't actually work all that well, but let's give it a shot. So just go ahead and slide it in, and you wanna keep your hands to the side if you can. There you go. There we go. And then this will drain out the oil filter housing before you pull it off, which should prevent a little bit of mess from happening. So it's actually a pretty smart idea if it works out. Sometimes this little tube doesn't fit in there well, and then you get oil everywhere, but it worked well this time. All right, now that we've drained out most of the oil from the oil filter housing, we can go ahead and remove this little tube. It can be kind of on there, well, it came off pretty well that time, but it requires a bit of a kind of like pull to the side and then pull down. If you pull straight down, it usually won't come out. The O-ring might come off with it, that's okay, just pull that off to the side. And then I think it's easier if you actually reinstall the little bottom cap, just finger tight. It'll make less of a mess this way. And then we will replace that O-ring once we get the filter housing all the way off. All right, now we can go ahead and use our oil filter wrench, make sure it's fully engaged, and then just go ahead and loosen that off, again with the drain plug or with the drain pan still underneath, because a little bit of oil will still be trapped in there. So loosen that up. And then we can just spin this off by hand. Again, being mindful that there probably will still be a little bit of oil coming off, so just have your drain plug ready, or your drain pan ready. And then just pull that all the way off, like so. Ah, that's hot. Now we can go ahead and replace our oil filter. So pull off the old one, just lift straight up like this. There it is. Set that to the side. Then you can go in there with a paper towel and just kind of clean off any old oil. Try to get as much of that out as you can. Get this nice and clean. All right, now we have an O-ring right here, which we're just gonna remove. A pick is a good tool to use for this. Just kind of work it over the threads, like so. Pull it off. And then you can take your new one. And it's always a good idea to get a little bit of oil. Old oil is fine, but just lubricate this O-ring, because that's going to help it have a better seal, and you'll be less likely to have leaks. So get that a little lubricated, and just go ahead and slide that on. Make sure it's fully engaged all the way around. And again, we're going to want to make sure to have the outside lubricated before we reinstall it onto the engine. Then we can go ahead and loosen off this bottom cap again. And the second O-ring, same story, just get a little bit of oil on there. Second O-ring is going to go right down here. And then we're just going to go ahead and spin that back on. We will torque it properly when we get under the car. For now, we'll just go like this. Then we're going to take our new oil filter, and we're just going to go ahead and push that on. And there we go. Now we're ready to reinstall this in the car. Go ahead and thread on your oil filter housing. Make sure that it is not cross-threading at all. So it should go on nice and smoothly until you reach resistance. That's where the O-ring is. Then we can go ahead and use our wrench here, slide that on. And then you just want to get this until it's snug. You don't need to over tighten this like crazy. You'll feel the resistance, and it really won't go much more than that. There we go. Then we're gonna torque this thing down, this little blind cap here, 25 plus or minus 5 Newton meters, which I'm gonna do about 19 foot-pounds, which is right around 26 Newton meters. So just get this there. You'll hear the click. That is now torqued on properly. And now we are done under the car, so we can go ahead and drop it on the ground and go ahead and refill it on top. Go ahead, open up the oil cap on top here. And we're gonna need 6.5 quarts of 5W30 oil. So I'm gonna start off with 5 quarts, which is this entire jug. And then we'll check the dipstick and we'll add as necessary. All right, a quick trick. Sometimes it's hard to read the dipstick when the oil is new because it's very clear. If you spray a little bit of brake cleaner or carb cleaner on the dipstick, it'll get all the old oil off, and it'll actually make it a little easier to read. So let's go ahead and insert the dipstick. And you can see here now it's very clearly right at the top mark right there. So we are good to go. Now we can go ahead and remove the funnel, and we can reinstall our oil cap here. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to turn the car on, let it idle for a few minutes, and then we're going to recheck the oil level afterwards, because as we turn the car on, some of the oil is going to get sucked up into different areas of the engine, which previously may have not had oil in them. So once the car is running for a few minutes, on level ground, check the engine oil again. It should be right at the top of that dipstick, and then you're good to go. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you later. I'm going to show you how to turn off the maintenance required light on your Toyota Avalon. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure that this screen right here is on the odometer setting. So if you click this little stalk right here, it'll cycle through trip A, trip B, make sure it's on odometer, okay? And then you're going to turn the car off. So if you have a key start, just turn it to off, okay? Then you're going to hold the odometer stick or stalk, whatever you want to call it. You're going to hold that down, and then you're going to turn the car back to on. Now, you're not going to turn the engine on. You're just going to put it to the on position right here. And then you're going to see all those little dashes going down, 2, 1, 0, 0, 0, let go. And now the maintenance light is turned off. So that's how you do it. Thank you for watching.